Welcome. I'm Richard Hasno, and I'm your host for the Wisdom Inspired Life podcast and the Wisdom Inspired Life YouTube channel. Great to have you here. If you'd like to contact me for any reason, you can email me at richardwib@gmail.com, the address that's on the screen. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can, and heck, we may even Zoom. This is another in is an ongoing and will be a long series called the Ageless Wisdom series. Ageless Wisdom is a description for a publication of 24 volumes of highest esoteric wisdom from an enlightened Tibetan master by the name of Djwal Khul, also a member of the spiritual hierarchy that manages this planet, is probably the best way I can put it. It's 24 volumes, more than 10,000 pages. It's a lot. I've read it all at least once, and it's quite the experience. He transmitted these 24 volumes via mental telepathy to Alice Bailey in the United States, who for a while lived in California near Monterey. A compendium volume was put together by a devotee of the Ageless Wisdom, taking various topics like we're going to be covering here, and going through the 24 volumes to find the best and relevant quotes to kind of put about that. And that's where I'm pulling this information from, and this will be on chakras today. It's available, last time I looked, on Amazon, but there were just a few copies left, so I'm not sure what the status of it is, if you're interested in learning more. So today's topic is chakras, an important one. It's a word that I think many people kind of understand a little bit. There's a whole lot more to understand what it's about, and this episode is not going to do all of that by any stretch of the imagination, but is going to give you some key thoughts and key points about chakras. So let's share with you the first quote. The etheric body is a body composed entirely of lines of force. We are beings of energy, okay? And of points where these lines of force cross each other and thus form, in crossing, create centers of energy. When many such lines of force cross each other, we have a larger center of energy, and where great streams of energy meet and cross, as they do in the head and up the spine, you have 7 major centers that you see in the picture here. Okay? And these we've come to call chakras. So that's what we're talking about. Now, a major warning about chakras. This is not something to be played with. This is not something for amateurs. The risks are great. Quoting, much danger and dire calamity attends the man or woman who arouses these centers by unlawful methods, namely not ones taught by enlightened masters, and who experiments with the fires of his body without the needed technical knowledge. And there is tremendous technical knowledge involved in it, because that's part of what I do. He may, by his efforts, succeed in raising the fires and intensifying the action of the centers, but he or she will pay the price of ignorance in the destruction of matter, in the burning of bodily or brain tissue, in the development of insanity, in an opening door to currents and forces undesirable and destructive. Now, if that doesn't get your attention, I don't know what will. Okay? Very simply, you can avoid all this risk by following the guidance of God-realized masters. On Earth today, there are a few. Paramahansa Yogananda, who passed in 1952 through the Self-Realization Fellowship, founder of the Self-Realization Fellowship, has extensive lessons on the chakras, eventually leading to initiation in Kriya Yoga, which has nothing to do with postures and everything like that, and is all about moving energy up the cerebral spinal area and through the chakras. And that is guidance by a master. I do this twice a day, every day of my life. So it's an important part of the spiritual evolution experience. So following the guidance of a God-realized master, good. Other sorts of things, not so good, with major risks. Okay? So, chakras. The aspirant, therefore, has three things to do, okay, relative to chakras. Purify, discipline, and transmute is threefold lower nature, three lower chakras. Each of the chakras has a purpose and a role in the total scheme, and you can learn more about what that's about, should you be so interested. And then develop knowledge of himself or herself and equip his mental body by good deeds and thoughts. Okay? It's again, it's all about energy. We are beings of energy. I've covered in previous episodes, there's absolutely nothing solid in this universe. Every quantum physicist on planet Earth will agree with the statement I just made, and every spiritual master who's written or talked or teach would also agree with that exact same statement. Okay? We are beings of energy. Therefore, infuse yourself with good energy by doing good deeds and having good thoughts. It's that simple. Serve his race with utter self-abnegation. Put another way, serve unconditional. Provide unconditional love, compassion, support, and kindness. In doing this, he fulfills the law. He puts himself in the right condition for training, fits himself for the ultimate application of the rod of initiation, come back to that in a moment, and thus minimizes the danger that attends the awakening of the fire or chakras. Okay? We move along a path of evolution of consciousness, paths of initiation. That particular term, path of initiation, we'll cover in a later episode on all of this. But as I've shared in other episodes today, most of us have a waking consciousness, hello, and subconscious. But we have the ability to grow and evolve through three higher levels of consciousness. They're called superconsciousness, then to Christ consciousness, and then to cosmic or causal consciousness. Okay? And each of those require certain spiritual practices and lessons and lifestyle and everything else to be able to make that progress. For most of us, it's something to keep in mind that it's out there. We need to make a lot of progress on the fundamentals and basics before we have the ability to then achieve higher levels of consciousness. A lot more can be said about that also. It's not here. So, brief introduction into the topic of chakras, something you can learn a lot more about should you be so inclined. And if you'd like to know more about what we're doing, you can go to mywisdominspiredlife.com. You can also listen to the Wisdom Inspired Life podcast there. You can also listen to it on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you do. Well, my mission with this channel is to help people start to or continue living a more wisdom-inspired life. Thanks for being part of that journey today, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you.